Welcome to Fox 8 Extra. I'm Stefani Schaefer, and this is going to be the sweetest episode of Fox 8 Extra, and you're about to see why. If you are from Northeast Ohio, you certainly know their name. In fact, the sound of their name might make your sweet tooth start to tingle. Today we're joined by not one, not two, but three members of the Malley family. Please welcome my friend Mike Malley and his brothers Packy and B. Thank you all for coming in.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you
for having us.
I know this is pretty exceptional because this is one of the first times the three of you, I know you have other siblings too,
Yep.
three more, but that the three of you have been together to do anything like this for media and an interview, so I thank you.
Our pleasure.
Quite
Really.
honored. We do have Mike here quite a bit.
I know.
Yes, he's amazing. And you always say when I see you, because I get so excited and I jump out of my seat on the set, and then you go, I don't know if you're excited to see me or to see the chocolate, right?
I think a lot of my family members endure that too. Just, are you really genuinely happy to see us, or do you just want some candy?
Well, we are always happy to see you.
Thank
And
you.
also your stories are what's so great. And that's why I wanted to bring you all in, because of the rich history of Malley's in our city of Cleveland. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? I'm going to make you kick things off. When
All right.
your grandfather started this almost 100 years ago, as you celebrate
Not
your
quite, but we're at
90th year.
90th. Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
But we're rounding up.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm sure Packy will jump in and correct me if I get some of these points wrong. But 90 years ago, my grandfather, originally from Meadville, Pennsylvania, he was a syrup salesman. And back in the day, if you can go back 90 years, 1930s, there was a lot of a proliferation of soda fountains. They were very common, whether they'd be in the drugstores, dime stores. And my grandfather had Cleveland as his territory, and he would sell syrups, the flavored syrups that would make what we'd refer to as our sodas today.
Yeah.
So anyways, he would come to Cleveland quite a bit, and he had his eye on a location that was on the corner of Lewis Drive and Madison, and it was a delicatessen, and he had his eye on it. And he had always aspired to do his own shop, and I think for a time, didn't he work a little bit as for a confectioner in Meadville, Pennsylvania, probably when he was in high school.
In a little
Yeah.
chocolate
Yeah,
store.
little chocolate shop. So he kind of got the bug there, always liked to do it, and it was a delicatessen. So he decided to bring my grandmother and then my father and my aunt. They moved to Lakewood, Ohio, on the corner of Lewis Drive and Madison, and that's where it originally started. It was a delicatessen. And I don't know if this is more urban myth than fact, but the joke always kind of went, he wasn't great at making a corned beef sandwich, but he could really make some good chocolates.
Wow.
So he shut the delicatessen down and made it a full-time operation to do chocolates and had a little ice cream fountain in there and soda shop.
And he was a young guy at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, just had his first child, and I read somewhere that even moved the family into the store too.
Oh yeah,
like
there was
in the
living
back of the
quarters. There was
store.
living quarters in the back, and my grandfather would make the candies down the basement, and my grandmother kind of ran the front of the house and was the hostess and welcomed everybody. And there's a great picture, and I wish I could find it. My dad standing on top of like a old Coca-Cola crate washing dishes with his little knickers or his Buster
Oh
Brown.
my gosh, how
And
cute!
yeah, and and you think about it, that was kind of right during the not kind of, it was during the Great Depression. So
right.
you kind of wonder sometimes, was it really his passion, or was it just sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make a living, and that's what he did. So it's quite remarkable to start a business during the Great Depression.
Well, and that all these generations too have carried on the tradition is really amazing. I couldn't imagine, like, as I have this mental picture of your father there helping and growing up living in like a chocolate factory. It would be like a kid's dream. And you guys, you three all and your siblings lived that. I mean, since you were born, this was already, what was that like to live in this really chocolate legacy of Cleveland?
Oh, it was really a treat. I mean, it really, it was interesting because growing up, you just assume that's what you did. It wasn't.
Yeah,
but
everyone's parents make chocolate,
somebody's,
right?
But you'd go to school, like you remember on Valentine's Day when you do the little giveaways at the everyone would give a card, every kid and all that, and we'd always show up with chocolate, and that was always a highlight. But one of the highlights of growing up is we lived in Fairview, and my dad opened a second store when we were all in grade school out in North Olmsted at Clegg and Lorraine. And when we'd have kids sleep over, my dad would always take us out to the Malley store after it closed, like at 11 o'clock. And he would do the receipts of the day, go through, because he usually started his day doing that. But when we had a sleepover, we'd all pile into a station wagon. There was 4 of us before our sisters were born, and whoever slept over. And he'd do his work for about a half hour, and we'd have the run of the place. And it was always great because you always knew the kids that came for the first time, because they'd go behind the soda fountain and they'd make a huge sundae, putting the hot fudge on there, all the whipped cream, but they could only eat half of it, because your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And those are memories.
Yeah.
Just piling in the car at 11 o'clock on a Friday night in the summer, and a sleepover. It was what the kids, our friends, looked forward to. And that was a lot of fun. So that's kind of the memories of growing up.
And I want to add to B's story, because I think it was even beyond the sleepover. The neighborhood kids got to realize during the summer, Mr. Malley's going out to North Olmsted to check out that store.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, our friends would be at the back door. They'd be like, go ahead.
It was fun.
And the people who work the soda fountain, and this is a term of endearment, they're soda jerks. And all of us have worked as soda jerks at one time or another. And, you have to break the fountain down. You got to clean it up, put it everything away. And all of a sudden, here come Mr. Malley with all the kids from the neighborhood.
Right.
And they would just be like, you got to be kidding me. And we would just trash the fountain. The kids are playing with whipped cream.
my
Fudge would be going everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
That's a great memory growing up, though.
Yeah.
It really was. And then my parents did it, and I think we've all done it, is at our homes on Halloween, we pass out Malley bars. And we do the big pretzel enormous bars.
Hey, this is going out to
I
Cleveland.
need your
Don't be
address
telling
now.
people.
Well, hey, and
I can't imagine.
And our houses are very popular.
Right.
And well, I think a great story. My parents were in Chicago one time, flying someplace. They went in to check in this is back before all the rules and regulations now. And they got the ticket off. It goes, Malley, Cleveland. Are you with Malley's Chocolates? And my dad goes, yeah, that's because I used to go to your house as a kid. Oh. And I remember to this day getting those chocolate bars. So we bumped them up. They had room in first class and just kind of bumped them up. And my parents were like, wow, and this is back before that was a big thing.
Yes.
And so it's those kind of stories where you don't know who you're talking to when the kids are at the door. They remember it years later. I still run into one friend that we used to take out to our store at night on sleepovers. And, the stories grow a little bit as the years go by.
Of course.
But it's still a great memory.
Oh, for sure.
That's the fun part.
For sure.
Me.
How about you, Packy?
Definitely checking out is what we called it when Dad would go check out, the receipts. And I used to go with him all the time, even when it was just the 2 of us, like all the time, because I used to be able to throw the money in the bank, the envelope, and he didn't have to get out of the car.
The night deposit. The night deposit. Back in the day, you'd have to get out.
And he liked having company, and my parents didn't care how late we stayed up in the summertime. So he had company, and it was fun just to go out, as a little kid. And then in high school, we all worked at the stores, and it was a lot of fun just working with different high school kids, because you got to meet people from neighboring high schools and all that kind of thing. But Halloween is still huge at my mom's house. I mean, she dresses up as a witch or whatever and wants to talk to every kid that comes in.
Like, lady, just give me the candy bar.
Does she get thousands of kids?
It's like minivan after minivan.
Oh my gosh.
Plus a lot
That's
of
the thing. You get the truck. Vans, literally minivans, pull up. The doors slow. The kids run out and they run right back and they drive away. So it's become more than just a neighborhood thing. There's a few people that drive, and that just astounds us. But that reminds us what the customers have made us into being a family Cleveland tradition.
Iconic.
It really means a lot to us, and it's really weird.
It's funny. What a great thing. Anytime I travel, friends will always be like, oh, Cleveland, Malleys, and so I'll send a lot of Malleys. You must send it all over the world and ship all over the world.
We ship to every state in the union gets. We have deliveries too. Customers send stuff.
Wow.
I don't know how many countries we go to, but quite a few.
What you said is true, though.
That's amazing, because it's a piece of Cleveland.
Our chocolate factory's on 480 on the way to the airport if you're coming from the east side or south side or whatever. And we get a lot of people that are going places. They have to bring a piece of Cleveland with them.
Yes.
Like a hostess gift. And they're like, what better item than a box of chocolates that scream Cleveland? And we have a nice box that, like our Buckeyes you see here.
Yeah.
That screams Ohio, screams Cleveland. So it's a great gift, and it's easy to travel with. And so we have a lot of people taking it as hostess gifts.
Sure.
So it makes
Did
it
you
fun.
ever get used to the smell when you walk into one of your stores? Because that always just, that aroma of that chocolate just
Smells so
it fills
good.
my body. It does. It does smell so good. Did you ever
Especially
get
when
used
they're
to
making the hot fudge.
fudge? And he knows after your
Yes.
last time you were on, like 2 weeks ago, and you were telling a story during commercial break, and I zoned out completely. You were telling Todd, because I was just enjoying that hot fudge sundae.
Grandpa's
And your
recipe.
hot fudge.
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
Oh,
That
boy.
is a
All
great
right.
story.
Okay, as the story goes, my grandfather finally had perfected the recipe, and he would write recipes down, and I still have some of the recipe cards in the office, and they're kind of fun mementos because I get to see his handwriting and stuff like that. But anyways, he wrote the recipe down, and my grandfather liked to play cards. So he wrote the recipe down, and apparently he was leaving his kitchen, and he had the recipe in his pocket, and he went to the card game. And he got to the card game, and he was just having a horrible night of cards. And he finally got a hand that he really liked, and he was really going to bet the house on it, literally. And he didn't have anything to bet except this recipe. So he pulls out the recipe, folds it in half, and puts it in the pot. And his fellow card players said, all right, we'll take that as your chip. And they're thinking, and this is where I don't know if he actually won the hand or everyone folded, because they either thought his name was Albert Mike Malley, and they're like, you know what? I don't know if Mike's really got a good hand or he's bluffing, but he wouldn't give away a recipe. So, but anyways, he ended up winning the hand that night, and we almost lost the recipe in a poker match. But
Wow.
thankfully for the Malley family,
But you got to say who he was playing against.
well, who was he playing against?
Paul Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I left that part out.
And Paul Brown wanted to name it Paul Brown's Hot Fudge if he
Oh
won.
my goodness.
I forgot all about that. That's a great.
And the rest
thank you.
could have been history, but thankfully it stayed within the Malley family. Any other stories that you want to share? First of all, let's talk about your mom too and how she's doing. We know she had written that book
Yes,
a
well,
few years
thank
ago.
you for the plug.
Yes.
You know, Adele's book, Conversations
Yay.
with Adele.
Aw.
There's still some copies left at Malley's. Adele's doing fine, thank you.
Great.
You know, she's 88 years old, but she's still very sharp. And anytime you want to talk to her about merchandising or Malley's, she'll talk to you. So.
And that's what she really did too,
Yes.
for really make those stores so welcoming. But that was a big part of Adele.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, she launched the Malley School of Merchandising while she was at Malley's, and she's quite well known and well respected within the confectionery industry
Absolutely.
for how to establish and build a business and present your products and in your stores. So a lot of that success, you know, it's interesting. My mom and dad had, I think, a very interesting relationship in that a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I could never work with my spouse.
Yeah.
But my parents, I think, had, you know, not only a common cause with their family, but a common cause around the business. And my dad, I think, would be safe to say he was more of the finance, sales, and marketing guy, and my mom was more of the operations, merchandising. So
Yeah.
I think that really worked well.
Absolutely.
And they balanced each other out and
I
then
think so.
still created this tradition and then letting it just blossom as all of you and your
Yeah.
family members have done. It's amazing.
Yeah, we had good teachers.
You really did. I did tell you this is the sweetest episode, right? And I know you're agreeing with me. And up next, we're going to talk about some of these great things at our table, find out what all your favorites are, and my favorite, and do a little taste testing. So don't go away. More sweet items with our friends from Malley's with the Malley brothers when Fox 8 Extra returns. Welcome back to Fox 8 Extra. And that quick commercial break, yes, I was able to start eating chocolate. So I can't help it because when it's in front of me, and these guys know, because you said every time that you're on our show, what do I do?
You eat chocolate.
He's like, she's pounding
I thought
chocolate.
she was just being polite, but no,
No.
she likes to pound it. So
I
good.
said my bio says like mother of two and chocoholic, and if I get cut, I do bleed chocolate. Like, I mean, I just love it. Your aroma, everything that you guys do into it, it's special. You mass produce it, but it's always tastes not like that. It's just so good and so
That's a
unique.
good way to describe it.
It really is, truly. So when you drive on the highway and you see those big pink towers, I always think, is it full of chocolate? One day, do I need to tap into it? And like I did when you brought the hot fudge thing, I had to get under it during commercial break
that.
and eat
We
that
have the
chocolate.
pictures.
We do have the pictures. What's in there? Is there anything in there?
Well, we're sworn to secrecy, but we like to say it's the Oompa Loompas that come out and help us at peak season. So
All right. And then they just hang out in there?
I kind of hang out a little quiet.
Tell us quickly, I read that years ago when the first store was made, I mean, this is back in like the 40s, 1940s or so, and then they opened the next store.
Correct.
I heard the police needed to be there to help control the crowds.
Yes. Well, it wasn't so much the next store. My grandfather outgrew his operation, so he moved a couple blocks up the street to what is now the corner of Victoria and Madison Avenue.
Yeah.
And Packy corrected me. It was the first all-aluminum siding.
Siding, yeah.
First
Wow.
all-aluminum siding building in the United
In the
States.
country, wow.
But my dad tells the story. He goes, Mike, it was like a Hollywood premiere. There was a big searchlight going across the sky, and the Lakewood police had to come and help direct traffic because everyone was so excited about the brand.
But also
opening.
interesting
That's
about that,
amazing.
it was also, we had air conditioning in there. And this is before, I wasn't around, but I mean, many homes didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
It was a treat to go to restaurants and places, I was told, that had air conditioning. So there's a lot of little things that played into it that made it a very interesting place to visit, along with the great products. But, the brand new opening, he had generated a following down the street. So he probably promoted that he was moving down, and it was just a place to be. So.
And even, after the Depression, I mean, I think people, and any time, even look at what COVID's done, that we all want to escape to something sweet. And
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
great escape to something sweet
agree,
and
yeah.
wholesome and part of Cleveland. And I mean, so you really don't need to explain it because it just makes so much sense. It really
Also
truly
in
does.
Lakewood, they had trolley cars that went down Madison Avenue back in the day. And so I don't know what year they stopped. I'm not sure.
I don't know what year.
But another old story is my grandfather used to have to go down to the Central Market, and that's where he got the chocolate from. And he did that for a number of times before they said he could have credit. And he never heard of credit before, which is kind of funny, as we look at it now. But that was like a real treat for him to think that like somebody would give him product without even charging him in 30 days or whatever.
It's amazing. I also read somewhere that he rented his first place as a young new father and husband, young man. He had his idea. He rented it and he had $500, and that's kind of what started the whole
That's
thing.
how we got it off the ground.
I mean, it's just amazing. And the legacy is it's incredible because when you think too, I have such fond memories of my kids when they would sell things from school. Sometimes it would be the Lally bar or the Malley bars. And then the anniversaries, you go to a wedding and the little favors are there. So you and the holidays and the Easter bunnies and the Christmas stuff, I mean, you really are there for life's sweetest moments.
Wow, you're a
for all of
commercial.
us.
You're awesome.
Well, and I mean it. And I think,
If I may,
that's
a couple of neat stories really quick was the ambassador to Ireland 5 years ago was from Cleveland, Mr. Crawford from Park, Ohio.
Oh, yes.
And he wanted to share a little bit of Cleveland with Dublin. So we sent over a pallet of chocolates, a couple 100 pounds of chocolate to the embassy in Ireland. And being Irish, wow, what a treat that was for us to be part of the Irish embassy, American embassy in Ireland. Joe Thomas, him, the football players on the inducted to the Hall of Fame. He put gift bags in all the hotel rooms for his family and friends that were coming from out of town. He wanted Malleys in the bag. So I had Joe Thomas's cell phone number. I'm like, wow, isn't this cool? I'm like, and I deleted it because I never wanted to butt dial him. I never wanted to say.
That would be awkward.
Yeah, it'd be too awkward. So nothing's good's gonna come out, but be part of that. But also, being kind of a weird story, but we're right across the street from Holy Cross Cemetery, and I'll never forget this one time. I always make it a point to stop and talk to a customer in the store. And I saw this well-dressed couple, and I approached them, and they had just come from Holy Cross. They just buried their mother. And they came over, and they said their mother loved our chocolate-covered pretzels. And they grew up with it in their Easter baskets. They grew up with it in their stockings. And they thought, on the way to the reception, they stopped at Mally's. They got choked up. I got choked up.
Wow.
It was really a special moment to really see, on the bigger scale, those other stories are nice, but that one-on-one connection of, that was what we meant to that family. And that just, you can't pay for that.
And in their darkest, saddest time,
Yeah, that's what they
gave
thought
them
of.
something sweet. And
just to come, that we thought that, let's stop the Malleys. Mom would like that, that's wild.
I know your families are so proud of you guys, and really just the legacy that you've continued and then just even built upon is just amazing. I mean, I'm sure with the initial $500 back in 1935, your grandfather could never imagine that all of you guys really have made it a part of your lives.
And then my father, right before he passed away, got to see his dream in action where all 6 of us 3 and our other 3 siblings, all worked together.
Wow. I mean,
Couldn't
that's...
rake leaves together.
Hey, but you could sell some chocolate. What are your favorites? Let's start with you, B.
Well, chocolate-covered pretzels, salt,
The
crunchy.
dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Kind of go with the milk, but I can always
Me
do
too.
dark.
Me too. I love them both. That's what I had during
it's
commercial
just-
break. Yeah, so
the
good.
crunchy, the salt, and the chocolate is just, I
It's
don't
so
know.
good,
It's
right?
a combination. It's just dynamite.
I agree. I love that.
Good.
What about you, Patty?
Bordeaux,
Oh yes, we've got some of these open, right?
the
Yes,
English
we do.
toffee.
These I love them so much, but they are so addictive.
Yes.
And I have eaten an entire box in one day. So sometimes I don't like you guys. Because like that, here they are. Like just, you cannot stop. They're
It's
unbelievable.
the English toffee covered in the Malleys chocolate and then rolled in crushed almonds.
It's like this dust that's just, it's
We
so
call that
savory.
bordusting.
Bordusting. Of course you do. I love the marshmallow one. I always get it at Easter with the marshmallow and the nuts, and that's what my mother-in-law used to always give me every year. And how about you, Mike? What's your favorite?
I love the Bordeaux.
Yeah. Okay. What are these little Billy Bobs?
Well, these are Billy Bobs. You might know them as turtles, but we call them Billy Bobs. That's actually a trademark name. So you had to come up with their own names. So
And that's a good story behind the Billy Bobs. You want to tell them?
well,
Do you know it?
You tell them while we open this.
Yeah, no, it's all
so
right.
go. Oh, sorry,
Yep, that's
sorry.
it.
They had that great shot there. So,
right.
all right. As
But
you tell.
20
Oh,
I
wait.
don't know,
Now you have to look and see
35
what
years
they look
ago,
like.
we were a cousin got married in Dallas, Texas. So the whole family went down to the wedding, and we all went to that bar at the time called
Billy Bob's?
Billy Bob's.
I don't think that's the
That's not
story.
the story.
Oh, that's
No,
what
no.
I know.
The
That's
story-
what
I have a
that's
different
what-
one.
that's
I
the
have a
one
different
I tell.
one too. All right,
I love this.
I want to hear what Peggy's is, but mine is. It was
All right.
Dad's.
It was
his
time
adver-
for
his
the
advertising.
the catalog to come out.
Yeah.
And my mom went into my dad's office and said, "We need a name. We got to, we're not calling it Turtles anymore." And our advertising
Right.
guy, who was my father's very good friend, was Bob Carr, who came up with the Cavaliers logo, with the original
wow.
Cavs logo. He was a Lakewood guy. And so the day goes on, my mom walks in, "What's the brilliant name for these?"
Yeah.
And my dad's name is Bill, his name was Bob.
Right.
Billy Bob.
Wow, there you go. And
that's the
it's
story.
another hit and success. I love you guys have done a lot of Cleveland collabs with other places. And while I'm eating my chocolate, could you please tell us about that?
Well, we've done 2 this year, or probably actually more than 2, but we've done some things with Brew Nuts over in
Yes.
the Detroit Shoreway neighborhood with some donut mashup with some of our product. But this one is Uncle Crunch. There's a small business getting started out in Medina. She does freeze-dried candy, and freeze-dried candy now is sort of the rage with a lot of the younger folks. Kids really like this. So we gave her some of our Carmelo eggs from Easter, and she freeze-dried them.
those Carmelo eggs.
And they're actually surprisingly pretty good. And this really isn't a collab as much as we're selling the Cleveland Coffee brand in our stores. And a portion of the proceeds all go to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So, coffee and chocolate's
so
always
nice.
a great combination as
You
well.
did the one, was it like a tortilla chip? Was that with
Right,
Barrio
and that was
or
with
something?
Barrio. We
Oh,
did the
that was
chocolate-covered
amazing.
tortilla chips right around Cinco de Mayo.
Can we do that again next year? Because
Well,
wow,
all right,
that
now you
was
put us on the
good.
spot, we're gonna
Okay,
have to.
I'll call Barrio. I'll be the middleman for you guys, happily. What's next for Malley's? You've grown to 18 stores now, and gosh, I mean, I'm sure the future is so bright.
Well, some of the things that we're excited about this year that we really want to build on is we've been approached over the years, and B and Packy were the sales guys for the company, and they know this better than me. but they would get approached all the time about, we'd love to carry your chocolates in either our card shop or our stores, and we just really didn't have the infrastructure to support that. But this last year, we started a relationship with Heinen's, and we're having some great success selling not all of our products, but a select sampling of our products in the Heinen's stores. So when you talk about the future, we're also doing it with Bueller's. We're looking at more wholesale opportunities. So we think there's opportunity to do more wholesale. We want to build out our e-commerce business a little bit. And we're always never going to say never to another new store. We just got to make sure it's the right store. 'Cause
Sure.
in today's environment, you know, it's the bricks and mortars are not cheap to build out a store. But
Well, and that's what you've done. Everything has been really thoughtful, and just to watch it grow has been a beautiful thing.
well, that's
Thank
kind of
you.
you to say.
Very
Thank you.
kind.
Yeah. If you ever need a person to work on the conveyor belt, I just keep thinking of I Love Lucy,
Lucy.
episode,
Lucy
and
and Ethel.
I would love to volunteer.
All right, well, we might be
Volunteer.
calling you at Christmas.
Volunteer.
Okay,
We'll
sounds
get you
good.
a hairnet.
Oh, that's all I need. Yes, that's great. I also love what you do with inspiring kids to read, with that wonderful motivation during the summer, with your summer reading program. I mean, that's what I think is so great, is you're not just this huge company. You still do the little things to help kids. You still have the carousel too,
Yes, we
that
do at
kids
North
can come
Olmsted.
in and ride that. Just great memories, and
thank you.
I'm so thrilled to have all three of you
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thanks for having us today.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
All
And
right.
you know I'm always happy to see you too. Not just the cute pink and green and white bags that you bring in.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure and an honor to have
Thank you,
this
Stephanie.
family
It's kind of you
together.
to say.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Thank
to
you
be
so
here.
much.
It's an
Keep
honor.
doing what you're doing. Thank you.
We will.
And thank you for being with us. Make sure you go visit a Malley store, because you will thank me if you haven't already, and get those Buckeyes and all the other good stuff. I appreciate you being with us for Fox 8 Extra. As I said, this is the sweetest episode you will ever watch. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.